It's the Dep Lewis Show. The Dep Lewis Show. It's the Dep Lewis Show. It's the Dep Lewis Show. The Dep Lewis Show. It's the Dep Lewis Show. It's the Dep Lewis Show. The Dep Lewis Show. It's the Dep Lewis Show.
Welcome to the best show that you'll ever know. It's the Dep Lewis Show, and it is episode 52. This is your host, Dep Lewis, and today is Sunday, October 8th, 2023. So welcome to the show. And you heard that right, it's episode 52. So this is a weekly podcast, so this means this podcast has been around for a year. So hooray for the Dep Lewis Show being around for a year. And hooray for you listening to 52 episodes. I know you listen to every single one of them. Every second you've gotten all the best video game thoughts and news and information right in your brain from this podcast. And you've also become a sports fan of the Braves and the Panthers. And you like some comedy stuff and you've been reading some books. So that's exactly what you've been doing. And I just want to say thank you for being the best listener in the world. And thank you for putting up with the Dep Lewis Show for a whole year, 52 episodes. So 1 year and counting. It's pretty cool. There was 1 week I skipped over the year I was on. It was like a trip I took on a weekend kind of thing. And I missed 1 week. So this podcast has been going on for a year and a week, but it's officially 52 episodes. So, shout out to that. I'm going to talk about that a little bit in the first section, but overall going to be a pretty normal show for you today with all the video game information and thoughts and then some other miscellaneous talk as well. So the first order of business is to tell you some stuff to do to support the show. So please follow Dep Lewis Show everywhere. Like, subscribe, rate, comment, review, turn on notifications, tell a friend, tell an enemy, tell a squirrel, tell a bird, tell anybody you can. Email any questions or feedback to DepLewisShow@gmail.com. Full episodes of Dep Lewis Show on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google, YouTube, Patreon, and more on my Buzzsprout page. The Buzzsprout page is a perfect hub for you to find the best place to listen to the Dep Lewis Show weekly. Clips of the show are on YouTube and TikTok. Twitch.tv/DepLewisShow is a great place to follow. And then the ultimate place to follow and support is Patreon.com/DepLewisShow. So I will talk about that more at the end. So let's see here. Episode 52. We're celebrating over here. We're having a party. We're having a grand old time. We're just turning up like crazy. It's 52 episodes. Think of all those video games we talked about. It's been pretty insane. So hopefully over the course of the year, I've gotten this podcast a little more dialed in about what I'm doing. I've gotten a little bit better at it, hopefully, and I hopefully will continue to improve and grow and proceed to be a better podcaster and bring you the best information I can each week. So it's been very fun doing that for a whole year. I plan on doing it for a whole nother year and some more years, so we will see. So let's keep having fun here on this Dep Lewis Show. And let's see, notes from last show. I just want to reiterate this again. Just a note to myself to watch my ands and my ums and my mic noises and any other noises I can make. I'm sitting in my computer chair today, so I'm hopefully not going to have computer chair noises in this podcast, so I need to do better. I need to slow down in general is probably good advice. So I'm just giving myself that advice here at the beginning of the podcast. And let's see here. So let's talk about the show today. We got the first section. We're going to talk about what I've been playing. So I have a couple games there I want to tell you about, and one pretty exciting bit of information in that first section I want to tell you about. In the midsection this week, we're going to talk about the video games I've been seeing, what's going on across the video game landscape, the video game universe, and what has been going on. There's been some releases. There's been some games I want to tell you about that I may have missed and you may have missed. And then there's some hardware I want to tell you about, maybe like a special edition kind of thing. And then in the third section, the miscellaneous talk section, we're going to talk a little bit about a book I'm reading, and then we're going to get into some sports. There's a lot of sports talk this week, so the miscellaneous talk section is going to have some great sports talk for you. So just welcome to the show, episode 52. It's been a year of the Dep Lewis Show, so that's what we're celebrating. So the first thing I want to say, I just want to get some thoughts out before going into what I'm playing. So I just want to thank everybody for listening on any platform, whatever podcast player, whatever. If you've been listening on YouTube, if you watch clips on TikTok, if you listen on it, Spotify, Apple, whatever, YouTube, Google Play, anywhere. If you listen anywhere, thank you. I can get some stats on Buzzsprout. Gives me some stats on different regions of people listening to me. So there's been a handful of different countries that have been listening to this. I want to shout out those people in those different countries: United States, Iran, Portugal, Russia, United Kingdom, Canada, Germany, Brazil, Switzerland, Israel, and Romania. So if you're one of those listeners, just thank you. Some of those countries have repeat listeners, so I'm assuming it's the same person who has found the show and is like some other video game talk possibly. So really cool to see the podcast going all across the world. So I hope that'll continue. You can see those numbers to grow. And then just, after 52 episodes, I just wanted to, reiterate kind of my sales pitch for this show. So like what you're getting into each week. So this is a weekly podcast. You're going to get my perspective on video games I'm playing in real time, and also the video game news and releases that I find most important of that week, or just video game things I want to talk about that are interesting. So, but it usually centers around things going on in that week. You're going to get updates on what's been taking place, what people are thinking about games, what releases have come out, if there's any cool footage to watch, any cool showcases or anything like that to watch. I probably watched them and telling you about them, but I'm also, letting you know you can go watch them yourself. I listen to lots of video game podcasts. I watch gameplay footage. I watch new trailers that come out. I follow news and releases, release dates. I follow, accounts on Twitter with information, and I'm bringing this news to the podcast every week. So I think that is ultimately my value here on the Dep Lewis Show. But other than that, hopefully you'll get some, just some random video game thoughts about, my likes and my perspective. Everybody's going to be kind of different, but you're going to get an insight into the games I like and what I'm enjoying. And I do that as well with the sports at the end. So it's just a little bit of insight into what's going on with me, and then hopefully a lot of insight into what's going on across the video game world is kind of the plan for this show. So, just thank you very much. I'd like to get people to support the Patreon. I have a ground floor tier that's $1 a month. It's just a general support tier for the Dep Lewis Show. It's for the first 100 subscribers only, and that price will never change, and you'll get access to any content I have on the Patreon always. So my overall plan is to get 100 subscribers. Then I'm going to add some, new content, some subscriber-only content on Patreon each week. So maybe a smaller form podcast, maybe some type of gameplay video or something like that. Something will be added to Patreon to, thank those subscribers for getting me over that threshold. So once I get the first 100, I'm going to have just those people will be set in stone. And then they will get access to, not set in stone, but if they still subscribe, they can have access to that tier. And then, the 101st person will have to subscribe to the regular tier, and that'll allow them to get access to some things as well. So ground floor tier, price will never change, $1 a month. General support tier, just really would appreciate your support on there. That would really help with producing and executing the show each week. So that's my sales pitch for the show. Thank you to everyone listening. It's been 52 episodes. I plan on doing 52 more, and how many beyond that, you never know, but really enjoy doing this. I've been having fun preparing it each week, and hopefully you've been getting some great information out of it. And so we're going to have a show. So that's the plan. So 52, just want to say thank you once again. Been a whole year, and, plenty more Dep Lewis Show to come. So, we're celebrating, but there's going to be plenty more to celebrate in the future. So let's get into what I've been playing. And the first thing I've been playing is something I want to celebrate because I have completed a game. I don't know if you on the Dep Lewis Show has heard of me completing a game since I've started this podcast. I don't know if I've completed a game since 2021, possibly. I played a lot of, I was looking at my game of the year from last year. It was a lot of Splatoon 3 multiplayer, it was a lot of Vampire Survivors, a lot of smaller type games, and nothing too story focused. So, I've been playing, I buy a lot of story games. I don't necessarily finish them all, but now I have completed something. And this is something in the last week, I really just kind of pushed the pedal to the metal and said, hey, this is something I can do and finish and would be a good check mark to get under my belt. And that is Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. It has been completed by me. Hooray for me. So I beat a game. I'm very happy about it. I really like the Ratchet and Clank series. I don't know if I've ever beaten a game before. I played a few of them. I really love Ratchet, and I really love Rivet in this game. So, the characters are some of my favorite, but I just don't know if I've ever completed a game. So I think I played a lot of Crack in Time was the main one I played back in the day. But I have completed Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart on the PS5. I was deciding this week that I need to pick, a shorter game in my catalog, and I had some progress already made on Ratchet, so I need to, instead of trying to, tackle these giant games, I need to knock some shorter ones out first to show me that it's possible again. I do this with reading books. I go through cycles like this, and, I have a pretty good groove going with just, reading a book and then moving on to the next one. So I need to get into some type of groove like that with video games. But there's, different, I tell myself there's different styles of games. You can play different ones at the same time, but I think it's slowed me down a little bit on making some progress. So I'm just trying to think about these things some more. So Ratchet and Clank was my first thought of, something I've really been into and liking, and that is something feasible to complete in a reasonable amount of time. So, I've completed it. So, hooray for me. This is the first game I've completed on my PS5. And, the first game I've completed since 2021, I think. I think the last game I might have completed, like a story game, is Red Dead Redemption 2. So, I can play some longer games, but it's just been a minute since I've done that. So, Ratchet and Clank, shout out to you. I think I'll give this game 5. I don't know, 5 Dep Lewis's out of the, I don't know what I would call them. But game was really fun. I liked everything except for, I'll start with negative. I liked everything except for the Clank puzzles. And I do like some of the Clank puzzles, but there's maybe 5 times, 6 times you have to do that over the course of the game. And one of them I actually did use the skip function. So instead of going to look up how to beat it online, and even when I went to look up the walkthrough online, it says, hey, you should watch the video of how to do this because it's kind of complicated to explain. So at that point, I was just like, I'll try this function out. You learned you don't lose any progress. It doesn't stop you from getting trophies or anything like that. It really just lets you skip the puzzle, and it even gives you a summary of like what happened. So it said like, Clank used his brain to blah 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 blah, and he executed the puzzle. So I thought that was pretty cool and pretty interesting. And the other thing I thought was interesting while playing this, that I'm just kind of noticing for the first time and finding it useful, is on PlayStation you can hit the home button while you're playing the game, and it'll show you how complete you are, what percentage complete you are to your next trophy, I believe is what it is. It's how it's set up. And if your next trophy is a story mission, it's giving you insight on how much longer you have to get to the end of that trophy. So, just like when I read my Kindle, I have the chapter set to tell me when the chapter ends. So, how many minutes until the next chapter ends. And PlayStation is kind of doing that same thing here. And, that's something I find really useful on my Kindle for, judging, hey, do I want to read another chapter? Is this a good stopping point? Just judging that kind of thing. So, it's going to have me playing my PlayStation a little more is kind of what I'm getting at. I think that's a pretty interesting feature. And it was definitely cool to me in Ratchet. I didn't realize I was kind of that close to the end until I was seeing some of these things. And Ratchet actually has a point in the game where it says, hey, there's no turning back here. So at that point, I was like, hey, I'm pretty sure I'm close to the end. But I don't know. I could see myself playing this game again, playing it some more, maybe getting some collectibles. I really did have fun with it. I got a good bit of the trophies. Really love the characters. This game looks amazing. It plays amazing. I love all the weapons. I really kind of mained 4 different weapons. So if I played again, I could use different style of weapons if I wanted to. But I was really into the grenades, the grenade launcher, the shotgun, and the pistol. Those were what I was rocking in this game. And I really love Rivet as a character. She's a great new character. And she is my PlayStation icon right now. And been having a lot of fun with this game. So maybe I'll play some other Ratchet games. Maybe I'll play some other games in a similar style. After I completed this, I was kind of looking up games in a similar style, kind of like Jak and Daxter, maybe Spyro. There's a whole bunch of things like this. And I was kind of slowing down because I need to think about completing these games. I can't just be jumping all around. So I've got my next mark for what I'm going to try to finish next, and I'm going to tell you about that in just a few. But let's see. So Ratchet and Clank. Yeah, I was at the Pirate Trials. There were some Pirate Trials. That's kind of where I picked this game up this week, and then, was getting to the end. So the Pirate Trials, I was a little bit scared of, like they were going to be really tough. And then it started off with like a musical memory kind of thing where there's a band of robots, and one of them would play, and then the next guy would play, and then you had to remember their order. So, I was kind of scared this was going to be some crazy battle, and it was just more of like a silly mini game. So this game was fun. It was had a good amount of variety all throughout it. You're not doing the same thing. I mean, you really are just shooting enemies, and for the most part, but you're going through different sections. You're doing different platforming. You're meeting different characters. The cutscenes are short and they're sweet, and the story is short and sweet as well. It's like a really, really cool experience and a good showpiece for PS5. And it's always going to hold a special place in my heart for being the first game I finished on PS5 and the first game I finished in a long time. So I've got a little bit of that monkey off my back. So hooray for that. Hooray for Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, and hooray for me for finishing a game. Because that seemed like a miracle at this point. So Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart has been completed. So, alright, so I've moved on though. I've been playing another game just this weekend, trying to do the same thing. I'm going to try to complete this game. And it's a smaller game, so that is working in my favor. And it is Spider-Man Miles Morales. So I'm continuing on the PS5. This is a game I already own, and I've played, I don't know, I played some of this before, not very much. I think when I looked up, I was playing this on PS4. I have about 15% of the trophies on PS4. So I was trying to remember if I played this. So that, that's a good enough reason to play it again anyways. But I was trying to remember if I played it. And when I looked at the trophies, I was like, oh man, I have 0 trophies. I never really got into this. But that was on the PS5 version. So the PlayStation will actually I don't know if delineate is the correct word, but it'll show you the difference between your PS5 copy trophies and your PS4 copy trophies. So depending on which one you have installed, it's going to track the trophies for that. So that was pretty cool to get some insight onto how far in the game I was. So, I didn't play very, very much of this, and I definitely enjoyed all of it. It's just one of those games that, I fell off. I moved on to something new like I do, and, I'm trying to combat that a little bit. So this game's on PlayStation. I was just kind of telling you that I'm a little bit on the PlayStation train right now, just really enjoying it and riding the hype of finishing Ratchet. So I thought, hey, Spider-Man could be a good game to complete. I've been using a site for a little bit of this research on like what games to play to kind of solve this issue. So I'm going to Google and typing in how long to complete this game, before I'm even tackling it at this point. So Miles Morales has about 7.5 hours to complete and about 18 hours for 100% completion. So definitely feasible. I heard someone online said they finished it in one playthrough. So I should be able to this should be doable for me. It should be doable for me is what I'm saying. So let's see. Yeah, just the setup of the story. So this is Spider-Man, Miles Morales. Miles is taken over while Peter Parker is on vacation. So Peter Parker's going away for a couple of weeks, leaves things to Miles. The graphics look amazing. I'm using fidelity mode. The city looks so cool. The platforming and moving around in this game is fun. The combat in this game is fun. I kind of forgot about that. I'm a little bit of a wuss with the combat stuff in games, but this combat's very fun. I like what you can do. There's a lot of different options to take people down. There's not too much to remember. You need to remember your Venom punch sometimes and different things like that. But overall, the combat is a really fun combination of things you're doing while you're fighting these people, and all the stuff you have to collect on the map. I'm immediately remembered how much fun that is. There's like tech parts you can pick up. There's different things just to go swinging around the map and find. You just get a radar, so that's really fun and enjoyable, and that's fun to do, while you're watching TV or listen to a podcast or halfway, paying attention. That's a good portion of this game, and I enjoy relaxing with video games that way. So Miles Morales have been really cool. I'm gonna keep playing it this week is the plan. I've already been playing some this morning again, making some progress, and hopefully I'll complete another game. I'm not necessarily playing something that's brand new, but hopefully I can, I have a pretty great backlog of really awesome titles, and there's new stuff coming out. I'm really, really looking forward to Super Mario Bros. Wonder that comes out on the 20th, buying that on Switch. So that's really the next game I have in my mind, and I'm pretty confident about playing those games. I usually do complete Mario games and side scroll. I usually do complete Mario games. I beat Odyssey. My main claim to fame is I beat Super Mario Galaxy 100%, and now I play most of the Mario games, so I'm not worried about that in that sense. I don't like sometimes in those games getting the 3 coins on the map to open new stuff, so that's my only gripe, but looking forward to that. And I'm going to keep playing Spider-Man. I hope we can finish that. And there's no telling if I do want to play Spider-Man 2 that comes out on the 20th of this month, but I'm trying to be a little bit smarter about how I tackle these things and not just building a giant backlog of things that I've never completed. So I'm working through it. There's a reality if I play this game and play through it and really enjoy it, and then gets to the 20th and I want to jump into Spider-Man, then I'll do it. But we'll see. So I'm playing Spider-Man Miles Morales right now as my main game, and I'm still playing some other things. I've still been playing a little bit of Zelda, just kind of traversing around the world. Not progressing too much there, but I'm still been playing that a little bit, and the other game, so I think that's really about it for this week. The other game I've been playing is Fortnite. So I'm getting back into Fortnite. I've only ever had one run with Fortnite, and it was a couple months maybe a couple years ago. I had a couple month run of playing Fortnite with some friends. But now those same friends are back playing Fortnite, so I'm back playing as well. And I've only played a few times, but I've been trying to maybe play once a week or whatever, get in there, get some games, and it's been a whole lot of fun. So we've done this a few times now over the course of the last few weeks, and I've been playing with just a basic skin. I've been checking the store every day for a couple weeks now, trying to buy a new skin. I was dedicated. The last time we were playing, I would look at the skins and they would pass me by and I would miss them, and then there would be a new one and I was indecisive. So this time when I came back, I played a few times and I'm bored of my just basic guy. So I was like, hey, I'm going to find a skin. I'm going to buy one. So that's going to make me enjoy this game more. And I've been looking every day. There's been nothing on the store that's enticing. They've had a lot of Halloween stuff and just random characters, but I really like the licensed characters and real life people they do, and just things like that, like special editions and like Marvel characters. And then when I booted up the store this morning, right before the podcast, there was some Star Wars characters in there, so that was perfect. So right before that, 30 minutes before the show, I was looking at the store and buying a character. But before that, my notes for the show were, why are there no good skins in this game? I've been looking every day. That's all I wanted to say. So I was gonna come on here and show some anger, but now I'm pretty dang happy. I got Rey from Star Wars, so there's a lot of Star Wars characters. I really like Rey. I really like that newer trilogy, and I thought she'd be a cool character to have. So I bought Rey with some V-Bucks. I had to buy some V-Bucks for the first time, and I copped Rey. So now I'm going to be showing off Rey to my friends and all the people that I'm owning online in Fortnite. So there's other characters on there as well. The Great Somfy is someone that I play with, and he already has some cool skins, but he was wanting Boba Fett. So Boba Fett's on the store today. There's Stormtroopers, there's Sith Troopers, there's Darth Maul, there's Anakin. I saw Padme. There's a million different characters on there today. Pretty awesome. There's some bundles of characters you could buy as well. But I'm just sticking to one for now, since I just want something besides the basic character. So I'm going to be out there with Rey. Catch me on the Fortnite streets. And I've been really enjoying that game. It's fun to play with some friends. I haven't played solo yet. I've just been playing with friends and getting on there and playing some games and talking some shit and just having some fun. So it's been fun playing the Fortnite, and I think I'll continue playing that. So if anything interesting, maybe I'll just have a small Fortnite update each week if we keep getting into it, and that's just kind of my plan. So, I was telling you before, I played a little bit of Zelda. I've been trying to focus in a little more here on some gaming and not play as many different things, or at least have some more intent on beating things. And I've been playing Zelda all year. I think I'm almost 70 hours in, but I don't think I've made a lot of like story progress. So that 70 hours could be a little fugazi. So I don't know if that's something I need to push for trying to beat, because if you look that up, it's more around the 65-hour mark to beat. So I kind of need to stay away from those types of games at this point. So my little bit of headspace right now is staying away from longer games, and then staying away from games that don't really have an end. So that kind of brings up things like Forza Motorsport that comes out on the 10th. I'll probably play some of that, but I'm not going to really have too much pressure on myself of how much I'm going to play it, because that's a game. I'm sure I don't know if there is an end. I guess you could play all the courses and complete them or something, but I don't know. Or even like Vampire Survivors. I don't know if I can just have that as my main game, because there's other stuff I want to play, or I want to play something on my PlayStation. But Vampire Survivors is something I could just be picking up and playing randomly without a plan to it. So I need to I probably have too many non-planned games, and those are okay, but I need to have a planned game in the mix. So that's going to be like what I'm doing with Spider-Man. So that is my video game plan for now. So that's what I want to tell you. I'm going to quit telling you about that, and I will come back next week and tell you about what I've been playing. So that's my plan. So that's going to wrap up the first section of this show. So this week I've been playing Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, and I actually completed that game, so hooray for me. And now I'm getting into Spider-Man Miles Morales. That's what I'm going to try to complete next. And then I've been playing some Fortnite. I got some friends back playing this, so I've started doing that as well. I copped my Rey skin this morning, and I'm ready to keep playing some Fortnite. It's very fun, and a pretty perfect multiplayer experience, game-wise, and ability to talk to some friend-wise. So really, really cool. And that's going to wrap up this first section of the show. Just want to say again, thanks for, this is the 52nd episode. I want to keep saying that throughout this. It's been a year of the Dep Lewis Show, so I had a whole year of what I've been playing. So just thank you for listening to that. We're going to come back. You're going to hear some wonderful music from friend of the show and friend of real life Ballness. You're going to hear his lovely break music. And then we're going to come back for the mid-section of the show and talk about all the video game news, all the video game happenings since the last week. So it's been a week since I've talked to you. I've been following all the news and releases, so I'm going to come back and tell you about those in the mid-section. So don't go anywhere, and come right back in just a few. Welcome back to the best show you'll ever know, the Dep Lewis Show, episode 52. This is the mid-section. This is where I tell you about all the video game news and happenings across the video game landscape in the last week. So I want to tell you about a release is the first thing I want to tell you about. So there's a game that came out October 7th, 2023. So that is yesterday if you're listening in real time. That is Assassin's Creed Mirage. So maybe that 7th isn't correct, but that game is out now. Assassin's Creed Mirage if you're listening in real time. And today's October 8th, 2023. So Assassin's Creed Mirage is out. The latest entry in the Assassin's Creed franchise. It's touted to be a little more focused, a little more return to the roots of Assassin's Creed. some more like Assassin's Creed 1 and some of the more recent like action-y ones. It's a little more, we're expecting a little more stealth and a little more traditional Assassin's Creed here. So, whether we get that or not, it's to be seen. So I've been listening to a lot of podcast discussion on this. I watched Nextlander play some of this, and it's been interesting. I've been a little bit interested in buying this. It's on prior gen, which is interesting too, and current gen. It has a $49.99 price tag in US dollars, so a little bit less expensive than a full price, $69.99 next gen game. But this is Assassin's Creed, so you can experience the story of Basim, a cunning street thief seeking answers and justice as he navigates the bustling streets of 9th century Baghdad through a mysterious ancient organization known as the Hidden Ones. He will become a deadly master assassin and change his fate in ways he never could have imagined. So they say, experience a modern take on the iconic features and gameplay that have defined a franchise for 15 years. Venture through the golden age of Baghdad. And yeah, supposed to be more like original Assassin's Creed, map smaller and more focused, stealth more important again, ? So this is all taking place in Baghdad, I believe. The Great Circular City is what they're calling it, or something to that effect. And the city looks really cool. I think those are all the things in this game that are getting me excited for it or wanting to buy it. But then when you just delve a little bit deeper, it kind of just comes back to the same Assassin's Creed. It's kind of what I'm getting from it. But the city looks amazing. The climbing looks cool. Basim's outfits and armor and things like that are cool. When I was watching Nextlander play, Vinny unlocked the Ezio Auditore costume, so that was I'm a sucker for that costume. It looks amazing. It just is fun to be an assassin and walk through the crowds and climb the buildings and do things like that. So I think this game can be fun. Fun enough just doing that. But you would hope for a little more, like the story to be cool, or some of the battles or set pieces to be a little more interesting. I just don't know if you're getting that here, but overall I've been hearing this game pretty lukewarm from what I've been hearing. I don't know if it's definitely not like revolutionizing the series or gaming in any way. It might just kind of be a good version of one of these things. We kind of know what it is what I'm getting from it. So, I don't know. The $49.99 is good. I think you should know what to expect from Assassin's Creed at this point. So I think you should set your expectations there. If you're expecting something like brand new, I don't know if this would be the game for you. But if you are like a big fan of Assassin's Creed, it seems like it could be an okay one to play. I don't know. I think some other people would recommend other games before this. People who have played more of the series. I think MinMax this week had someone on who had been playing through all the games in the series over the last year so he had a really good perspective on it too. And a lot of this secondhand thoughts I was getting from that podcast as well. So plenty of content out there about this game if you want to go check it out. And overall, I would just say it looks okay. So I don't know if I'm jumping to buy this. I've thought about it a little bit. I think it's around 20 hours to complete is what they're saying. But I don't know. I'm into the Spider-Man right now, but I just don't know if this is high tier enough a game. Where I don't complete enough games where I can be like delving down into some games that I really aren't doing like outstanding things, or I'm just not like a giant fan of in general. I'm an Assassin's Creed fan, but it's not, I haven't played every one of the games. I liked them real early on, so this definitely had me interested a little bit, but I don't know if it's really succeeding in that, so who knows. Still to be seen. Still a little bit interested in this game, and, if I hear anything more interesting about it, I will let you know. So that's Assassin's Creed Mirage. It is available right now. Another game that is available right now came out on the 6th for $49.99 as well. This is a Nintendo Switch game, and it's called Detective Pikachu. So in this game, you can unravel a series of mysteries. I almost called them mysteries. Of mysteries across Rhyme City with a tough-talking, coffee-loving Pikachu and his human partner, Tim Goodman. So I find that the most funny about this game, or that Pikachu's his human partner, his homie, is just a guy named Tim. So I think that's pretty funny, and I do like that aspect of it. So $49.99, it's out now. And I had a slight interest in this until I watched, I was interested in this. I'd never played the first Detective Pikachu game. And, I'm a Pokemon fan. I like Pikachu a lot. And I liked that it was $49.99. So I was like, hey, I'll try to watch some footage of this. And I went to Twitch. And somebody I saw on there, I watch this guy from time to time. Kyle, I think it's Boseman or Bossman. I really don't watch him too often. But he was playing this game. So I was like, hey, this is the perfect time to check it out. And And he really sold me on not getting it. I don't think he was, he wasn't being rude or mean about it, but he just made it seem like a very boring game. And he was, quickly changing to something else on his stream. So he didn't play very much. And, I just took from it that it seemed kind of simple and uninteresting for what I saw, from what I was seeing. And I was on the fence about this, and this was kind of good evidence to stay away. So I got to see a little bit of the game. It really did just seem kind of uninteresting. And I don't know. I was thinking through this. I was saying, maybe I'm just aged out of this game. This is not for I'm not the age demo for this game, and that's probably true. A Pokemon game is most likely going to be aimed at younger people. So I guess that's just going to be the case for me as I continue to get older. I'm going to not be moving closer to that age demo. I'm going to be moving farther away. So I think I'm just going to kind of chalk that up to this. Possibly this could be fun for someone younger. I just don't know if this is going to satisfy like an older Pokemon fan necessarily, or it's not going to. They could just play it for fun's sake, is what it seems like. I don't think they're going to be really championing it as like a cool new take on a way to play a detective game, or a Pokemon, a new way to use the Pokemon IP, or whatever it is. But I don't know. I didn't really get too many warm fuzzies from watching this stream, and that was not just based on his reaction or of Kyle, but it was just based on me seeing some of the gameplay footage too. It really just kind of seemed kind of bleh. So I don't know if I could put it on the bleh scale. So Detective Pikachu, I don't know if it's seeming too cool, but it's out now if you're interested in playing some, if you're interested in some crime solving, electric rats, I guess, maybe what it would be. But go check it out if you'd like to. It's out now. All right, another game that I want to talk about. The next couple games are things that I've missed or heard about, never really just known, what they are. So I looked up some details on them, and I want to tell you about them as well on this show. So the first game is called El Paso Elsewhere. I think I first heard about this through Jeff Gerstmann. I think he was playing this, and I still don't fully understand what this game is, but I've been hearing a lot of outlets talk about this, and it definitely seems like it's reviewing pretty well and critically acclaimed, and a little bit of a surprise possibly to a lot of people. So I think it's pretty cool to highlight this at least, even if it's something I don't know if I would play. But El Paso Elsewhere is a supernatural neo-noir third-person shooter. You can hunt werewolves, fallen angels, and other damned creatures in a vivid slow-motion love letter to action classics. So fight your way through a reality-shifting motel, floor by bloody floor. Save the victims of Dracula. It says Draculae. I don't know if that's a difference, but Dracula. Hopefully I'm not messing your name up, Mr. Vampire, the Lord of the Vampires. This game is available on PS4, Xbox One, Microsoft Windows, Xbox Series X, and Series S. And it is $19.99 on Xbox from what I saw. And it's developed by Strange Scaffold. And what did I say? I've seen and heard multiple outlets talking positively about this, so I wanted to point it out. Not sure I would be into it, but it seems like a more unknown gem to highlight. Slowly getting more popular, I would say, too. So, yeah, I really only heard about Jeff playing this at first, Jeff Gerstmann, and now I've definitely seen, more podcasts bring it up and more outlets, playing it and doing some, footage of it and things like that. So this game definitely seems interesting. So if you're interested in this type of third-person shooter, please go check out El Paso Elsewhere. That's all I really wanted to say about that. I think I've watched some footage about this, maybe not enough to really actually speak on it, but I need to look it up. I don't know if the descriptor here is selling me on it, but I need to go check it out so I can, because you never know. All right, the next game is something. So I've been back, a little bit with my friends playing some Fortnite, and one of those friends brought up, hey, has anybody played Party Animals? And I know I've seen that icon. I actually downloaded it on my console, but I never really knew what it was, and I haven't played it, so I wanted to look up some information on that too, just so I could be aware of what's going on there, because it could be a fun game. So Party Animals released on September 20th, 2023 for Windows, Xbox One, and Xbox Series X and S. It looks like it's $19.99, but this game's on Game Pass, which is cool, so I was able to download it there just to be ready to play it if I ever wanted to. But this is a multiplayer, physics-based brawler, a party video game developed by Recreate Games and published by Source Technology. So it says, fight your friends as puppies, kittens, and other fuzzy creatures. Paw it out with your friends remotely or huddle together for chaotic fun on the same screen. So, it does look like, wobbly little animals that are pretty cute, and I guess you're just fighting them, and the physics-based gameplay is the biggest part of it, but I don't know if I'll be playing this on my own. If any of my friends want to try it out, I probably would, and it being on Game Pass is a great perk for that, so if one of your friends ended up buying a game and it happens to be on Game Pass and you're subscribed, it definitely increases your chances of wanting to try it or give it a shot. So, Party Animals seems like something you want to get your friends together and play. I don't know if it's the top option, especially with games like Fortnite. I know they're doing different things, but if you have a group of friends, you probably only have so much time to get together and play games for the most part. So you want to be a little bit particular about what you're going to pick, but it could be fun to try out, but I don't know if it has long-lasting appeal, but that is also just my opinion from the outside. So go check out Party Animals. The characters look cute, and it is on Game Pass, so that's nice. So if you have some friends and want to check that out, that'd be a perfect chance to do so. All right, let me have some water here. And there goes my chair making a nice noise. All right, so the last thing I want to tell you about is a piece of hardware that's out. It's a special edition console, and that is the Red Mario OLED Nintendo Switch console. The Red Mario OLED. And that thing looks amazing. It is all red. The Joy-Cons are red. The dock is red. And if you open up the back hatch to the dock where you put the HDMI and the power, it's red in there as well, but there's also gold coin icons on there, like on the part where you plug stuff in, so it looks amazing. One of the cooler looking special edition consoles. It's available now and it's $349.99. So the same price as the regular OLED. I have an OLED. I really recommend it especially if you don't have a Switch. I think it's great to go straight to the OLED. And if you do have a baseline Switch, I think it's good enough to upgrade to the OLED, especially if you play a lot of handheld. I think it is worth it. I think we have the impending release of a new Switch coming out next year, possibly around this time. So it may not be the best time to upgrade, but I really do love the OLED. And, I always want to buy these special edition consoles. I've wanted to buy the Animal Crossing. I wanted to buy the Splatoon. I wanted to buy the Zelda. I wanted to buy this. I've thought about buying one and not opening it. Keeping it for the future would be pretty neat to do. I keep thinking about that sometimes, or I would probably end up wanting to try to use it, but I don't know. These consoles look really amazing. I'm really happy with my Switch. I just have the white OLED, but I bought some cool Joy-Cons and I got some grip covers, so it does look a little bit more interesting. But these consoles are so cool looking. Maybe if it was earlier in the cycle of it, I would want to be swapping it out, but I don't know. They look amazing, so hopefully you go buy one, and then you can tell me about it. DepLewisShow@gmail.com and tell me about how cool it is, and then I'll just get my envy going up even more. It looks really cool. Red Mario OLED Nintendo Switch console available now. So that is going to wrap up the midsection. That was all the video game releases and news I have from this week. I think I did bring up earlier that Forza Motorsport comes out on October 10th, so you can buy that next week, or you can play it on Game Pass. I think I'll be playing some of this. I've been hearing just sort of decent things on that. Not anything crazy out of expectations there. Sounds like a decent game. The cars look good. The racing's fun. It's back to racing like tracks, like more traditional tracks. So that's the difference there. And, I'm not really into the car customization stuff too much, and that never really gets me in those games. So, I don't know. I may just check it out to see how it looks on the screen, and that might be really about it for me there. But, I'll have more video game news and info for you next week in this section, as I always do. So, just thank you for listening to the midsection as always. We're going to take a break. We're going to come back for the final section of the show, the Miscellaneous Talk section. In today's Miscellaneous Talk section, I got some book talk for you, and then we're going to get into the wide world of sports. So, go take a break. I like to try to tell you some things to do sometimes. So, go take the trash out, go pet your dog, go refill his water bowl, take something out of the fridge, make a grocery list, go put some laundry in, go dust something. You probably something in your house that needs to be dusted. Go dump a trash can. What else can you do? I don't know, go scrub something. Use some Windex. Go make your house look nice to get your week started. And, I did all that yesterday. So I'll tell you about some cool things I'm doing in the next couple of days in the next section. So go take a quick break and come back and listen to the final section of the Dep Lewis Show, episode 52, in just a few. Welcome back to the final section of the best show you'll ever know, the Dep Lewis Show. And this is the Miscellaneous Talk section where I can talk about anything I want to outside of video games. So today I have a book I want to tell you about, and we're going to get into the wide world of sports. So the book I want to tell you about is something that I just started reading this week. It is by one of my favorite authors who writes a lot of great books, Brandon Sanderson. And this is secret book number 4. So if you were if you backed his Kickstarter, he had 4 secret books that came out this year, so one for each quarter. And this is the last quarter of the year, so his final book just released, and it's titled "The Sunlit Man." And I think it has the chance to be the best of the secret books. So it is out now for the Kickstarter backers. It looks like the physical copies, if you want to buy one, they come out next year, January 2nd, 2024. So you can buy a Kindle version for $9.99 then, or the hardcover is $25.49. So you can look out for the physical copies at the beginning of the new year. This is a standalone novel showing a rare glimpse of a future Cosmere universe. So the back of the box talk on this is: years ago, he had comrades in arms and a cause to believe in, but now the man who calls himself Nomad knows only a life on the run. Forced to hop from world to world in the Cosmere whenever the relentless Night Brigade gets too close, Nomad lands on a new planet and is instantly caught up in the struggle between the tyrant and the rebels who want only to escape being turned into mindless slaves, all under the constant threat of a sunrise whose heat will melt the very stones. Unable to understand the language, can he navigate the conflict and gain enough power to leap off-world before his mind or body pay the ultimate price? So Nomad is in some shit right here, is what it was turning up to be. So just started this. I've only had maybe 2 sessions of reading this. Really love these books. Anything Brandon Sanderson writes, I'm interested in. The secret books, I think the first one of the year about Tress of the Emerald Sea has been the best one. So I think this is Sunlit Man has some contention there, trying to get up to Tress's level. But go check out any of Brandon Sanderson's books. I recommend. Most of them are 5-star books to me. And if you have any questions, always email DepLewisShow@gmail.com. I've talked about a lot of Sando books on this show before, but this is the newest one I'm reading. And I have a new one coming out in November I want to read from Sando. And there's another book. I have 2 more coming out this year. So I need to finish 4 books by the end of the year to achieve my goal. I have 3 releases that I'm tracking, so I need to find one other book in there. So, I'll keep you updated on that. And I think I'm going to try to do a ranking of the books I've read this year for like towards the end of the year, or for like game of the year. So I'm going to throw that in there as well. So go read some books. It's pretty fun to do. Something I like to do besides video gaming, and sometimes I talk to you about that in the miscellaneous talk section here. So something that we're going to move into, the worldwide world of sports, is something I like to talk about every week on the show because I love some sports. So we're going to talk about the official NFL team of the Dep Lewis Show first, as the Carolina Panthers. I got two team updates today, and I'm both down a little bit on them, so it's going to be, whatever. You're going to have to listen to it. So the Carolina Panthers, they played the Vikings last week, at home at Bank of America Stadium, and the Panthers lost. I went to this game, so that part was fun. It's been my second NFL game I've been to. Had a great time at the stadium. I love watching the games. They're like the most blink of an eye thing I've seen as a sporting event. You have to be dialed in the whole time. I took a break to go get a drink and grab a bite to eat, but then I'm rushing right back to watch the game. So, shout out to the live experience of the NFL is amazing. But the game didn't end how I wanted it to. So the game started off great with the Sam Franklin pick 6. So that was amazing. The crowd went insane. It was a great tone setter for the beginning of the game, but the offense just never capitalized. The defense played pretty well. Thielen was going early on, but nothing else after that. Bryce has been looking decent, but he had some costly mistakes. He had fumbles and sacks. I think he needs to use his legs to make some plays more. The play calling needs to get more aggressive. They need to throw the ball downfield more. The run game has been non-existent. The defense has been playing okay with no help from the offense, really. So there's only so much there the defense can do. And, the defense had 2 takeaways in this game. Offense is frustrating to watch with so many screens and throws in the backfield. Laviska Shenault was having some positive plays, so that was a good thing. And then Eddie Pinheiro is the kicker. Some shout out to him too. He was 2 for 2 with a long of 56 yards and 1 of 1 of extra points. I mean, he was keeping him in the mix a little bit, Mr. Eddie Pinheiro. But Bryce Young was 25 for 32 for 204 yards, average of 6.4 per throw, 0 tuds, 0 picks, 5 sacks for a loss, and 55 yards and a fumble lost as well. So receiver stats, those have been kind of terrible all year in this game. So Thielen led 7 catches for 76 yards. And then Terrence Marshall Jr. had 9 catches for 56 yards. And then Chark had 2 for 28. So, not a lot of production there. Running stats, Chuba Hubbard was 14 for 41, 14 carries for 41 yards. And then Miles Sanders was 13 carries for 19 yards. and Bryce Young was 2 for 10. So, I mean, those running stats are non-existent. The defense, Von Bell led the way, led the team in tackles with 7, then Chin with 6. Chin and Gross Matos each had a sack. Sam Franklin had a pick 6. And Grugier Hill, Mr. number 54, had a pick 2. So, they lost the game. Not a lot of offense. The offense was getting booed. Miles Sanders was getting booed. I don't know. I don't think it's looking too good. There's a lot of talks about the Panthers going after a receiver. I don't know. I think that's one of the things they need for sure. I think they could use more weapons would be helpful. I don't think Terrence Marshall Jr. has done too much this year. But, he was second in yards for receiving, so hopefully that'll continue. Chark had 2 for 28, so we need to try to get him the ball some more too. And then the running game is nowhere, so a lot of problems here with the Panthers. They're an Owen right now, as my friend Pab likes to call them. They know Owen because they're 0 for 4 right now, doing terrible. And today the Panthers play though. We got a game, got another chance, got an opportunity for a win up in Detroit against the Lions at 1 p.m. I'm doing some traveling today, so I think I'm going to watch part of the game and then maybe listen to some of it. So hopefully the Panthers can get a win. I don't know. I don't have high expectations. Bryce is playing. I don't know if any other big injuries, but hopefully they can get after the Lions. That's my hope. Today, if you're listening real time, so check the Panthers out today. And then next week the Panthers are at the Dolphins. So that's a really a tall order right there. So the Panthers, a little bit down on them, but still a fan, still watching, still hopeful in some ways, and I want to see them get a win. I'm tired of this Ofer talk, so we will see. Panthers, go Panthers. All right, the next team that is the official team of the Dep Lewis Show are the Atlanta Braves. So favorite team on the planet. They're in the playoffs right now. Their playoffs started last night. But since last week, since I've talked to you, they played a game last Sunday. It was the last game of the regular season. The Braves lost 10-9. No big deal. The season was over. The Braves wrapped up the division. So I just want to read you some stats to end the season. Kind of just talk about that for a second too. The Braves had a pretty spectacular regular season. So I want to just give you some highlights of the stats. So as far as home runs, Olsen had 54, Ronald had 41, Ozuna had 40, Austin Riley had 37, Ozzie had 33. And then RBIs, Olsen had 139, Ozzie with 109, Ronald 106, Ozuna with 100, and then Riley with 97. Ronald had 73 stolen bases. I just wrote wholly in parentheses after that. That's insane. Ronnie averages 337, and Mike Harris averaged 293. Those were our top 2 guys. Strider had 281 Ks, and Morton had 183 Ks. And Bryce Elder had 128 Ks. Strider had 20 wins. Morton's ERA was 3.64. Iglesias had 33 saves and 21 holds for AJ Minter. So, you can see we have some starting pitchers in there with great stats. We got outfielders, we got infielders, we got relievers. Across the whole board, the team is on point. And then the Braves played Game 1 of the NLDS yesterday on October 7th, and they lost to the Phillies. So Spencer Strider pitched. The Braves kept stranding runners, a lot of castaways on the bases. There was lots of overturned challenges in this game. The Phillies did a great job of stealing bases. The Braves really couldn't catch a break this whole game. And the Braves fans were throwing trash on the field. I want to say that was kind of gross to see. And hopefully that won't continue and was a bad look for them. And Braves lost, so a sad day. And the Phillies stink. Really, really down on the Phillies. I'm not a fan of them. Trey Turner, not a fan of Casty, not a fan of Real Muto, not a fan of Bryce Harper, not a fan of anything they're doing right now. So they need to cut it out. And the Braves need to get back on track tomorrow. And that is one of the more exciting things, that I will be in the game in Atlanta tomorrow evening at 6 o'clock. I will be in Atlanta for Game 2 of the NLDS versus the Phillies. So the Braves obviously have to get a win. In this case, I'm going to get to see Max Fried as a starting pitcher. I'm going with the great friend of the show and friend of real life, San Fee. So it's going to be a fun time regardless, but I really want to go see a win. We got my Braves outfit planned out already, and I'm really bummed about that game from last night, so I'm ready for the Braves to get back on the horse, and I'm ready to get back on the horse as a fan as well. So, I'll definitely be telling you next week about my experience. I'm going to the ballpark. I think this is my second game at Truist Park this year, and it'll be my 5th time seeing the Braves in person this year. So really cool. I'm really thankful to get to do so, and this will be my first time seeing a playoff game. So I'm excited for that. The game was sold out last night, so I'm hoping it's sold out for Monday night as well. So it's going to be a cool atmosphere, and it's going to be do or die for the Braves. And, I guess I'm pretty pumped up now thinking about that. going to a do or die game. It's going to be so exciting. I love baseball so much. Braves are my favorite team. It's setting up to be an awesome day, and I can't wait. I have Monday and Tuesday off from my normal job, so have a little bit of a long weekend going here. So I'm definitely going to be reporting back to you on those things later in the week. But the Braves game is going to be the main highlight, and then I'm going to play some games and hopefully have a wonderful week. So go Braves, 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 go Braves. And that is going to wrap up the miscellaneous talk section. So we talked about the recent book I'm reading, Brandon Sanderson's book, The Sunlit Man. We talked about the Carolina Panthers playing the Detroit Lions today, and we talked about the Atlanta Braves. I'm going to the game Monday night, tomorrow, if you're listening in real time, versus the Phillies in Atlanta to keep the Braves' postseason dreams alive. Or World Series dreams alive, actually. They're in the postseason. So that's going to wrap up the show for today. I really appreciate you listening as always. I want to reiterate some things from the beginning to some promotional stuff again, just to make sure that you are following the show and find all the best places to see all the content. So please follow Dep Lewis Show everywhere. Like, subscribe, rate, comment, review, turn on notifications, tell a friend. Email any questions or feedback to DepLewisShow@gmail.com. Full episodes of Dep Lewis Show are on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google, YouTube, Patreon, and more on my Buzzsprout page. Clips of the show are on YouTube and TikTok. Twitch.tv/DepLewisShow is a great place to follow. And then Patreon.com/DepLewisShow is the ultimate place to follow if you want to support in the highest form that you can. There is a $1 a month ground floor tier on there that you can support, $1 a month. It's the general support tier for the show. You also get ad-free versions of the video content that's posted on Patreon. And this is for the first 100 subscribers only, and the price will never change. You have access to all Dep Lewis Show Patreon content always. So this is an investment for your entertainment future. So, my plan is after I can get 100 subscribers on Patreon, then I'm going to start putting some additional content on Patreon each week that's only available to those subscribers. And then any subscriber to the first 100 are going to get the $1 rate. And then any subscriber after that is going to have to pay the regular base rate for access. So that $1 a month for the first 100 people will never change. And then I will introduce another tier with the regular price at that point for the next group of people. And that's when I will just start putting some new content on Patreon each week, whether it's some type of video, some type of extra podcast each week. That's the plan for the show. So if you could support there, that would be wonderful. And just thank you for listening to the show as always. This has been completes a whole year of doing the Dep Lewis Show. It's been one of the more fun things I've done. And I enjoy doing it every week, and I hope you enjoy listening. I really love video games. I love following the industry, so I've kind of parlayed that into bringing that onto a show. So that is the plan each week, to tell you about all the cool video game happenings of the week, give you my little perspective on what I think about it and what I'm playing and enjoying, and give you some miscellaneous talk as well, so it can maybe open you up to get you interested in something that you're not normally interested in, maybe like a book or a podcast. Or I talk about a lot of comedy shows, and I talk about a lot of sports. So even if you don't like sports, maybe you can root along for these teams with me. Would be nice, because I could use all the willpower I could get with some of these teams. So really appreciate you listening to this show. Just thank you so much. I know I've been bragging on myself a little bit for it being 52 and talking about some of the highlights, but really do appreciate it. It's very fun to do, and I can't wait to keep doing it. So thank you as always for listening. This has been the 52nd episode of the Dep Lewis Show, the first year in the books. And please come back next week for episode 53. You're the best listeners in the world. Have a great week. Play a lot of video games, and then come back next week and listen to this show again. So I will see you next time. Just thank you as always. Goodbye.